Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Good to have you. Thanks for joining us again and watching the videos. And look, off of the back of that, if you're enjoying the content, please like and share the videos, subscribe to the channel so you can see everything we're doing, because we would love to be able to share the information that we're putting out with as many people as possible so everybody can hear what we're talking about. Today we're talking about interdimensional beings versus intergalactic beings. Now, this is where we move over into something completely different, because what was theorized a few decades ago, especially when the aliens kept changing their story as to their origin, so what was theorized is that they are not intergalactic races, but they are interdimensional. Now, that then, for me, begins to explain how they are able to transcend the laws that we know are constant in the universe, because they are not subject to the rules and the laws of this dimension, because they are from a different dimension. I would go as far as to say they are from a higher dimension, meaning that they are able to transcend all of the known laws within our universe, because they come from a dimension that is not subject to the same laws in their own dimension. And in order to get from their dimension into our dimension, they have found the capability of transcending. Now that makes sense to me. However, this is not just a theory, because as I said, when the aliens began to change their explanation as to where they come from and their origin, about a decade or a little bit more than a decade ago, with a number of contactees and abductees, they have said that they are not intergalactic, but they are interdimensional. So we have it from the aliens themselves, the explanation that they are interdimensional beings and not intergalactic. Now, just another quick point that I want to throw here, which is another reason why technology never quite was able to explain the ability of UFOs to travel the vast distances that we could kind of calculate that if they came from planet X, that it would be 250,000 light years away, which would take roughly about the same in years to get from where they are to us. Okay, now some of the abductees have said that they've been taken to the aliens' planet, and I have never read one account of any alien abductee or contactee, because there's a few contactees that have said that they've been taken to alien planets. I mean, there are even stories, I digress here, but there's even one story that I read from a lady who said that she willingly went with a group of aliens to their planet to raise hybrids, and she said that she stayed there for a number of years. Not one time have I ever read where an abductee or a contactee has been placed in a state of suspended animation, which would be our explanation as to how vast distances could be travelled in space and yet we wouldn't age. Not one person has ever spoken about being put in suspended animation. Not one person has ever spoken about going through a wormhole or a black hole, which is what many of the scientists theorize is the capability of the UFOs to be able to travel the vast distances, because this is a real scientific problem. Now, let's say, even from the aliens explaining where they're from, that we can all agree that they are interdimensional beings. And again, this is not what, you don't have to take my word for it. Go and research this. Go and have a look on YouTube. Go and listen to people that have been abducted. Read some of the books by some of the authors that I've said all along. I was recently watching a Joe Rogan interview with David Grush, and they got into what David thought around what would be some of the explanations as to some of the accounts that he had been given in regards to origin and where they come from and stuff like that. And even David Grush, and I mentioned David because he's one of the most recent whistleblowers that has come out to talk about reverse engineering and non-biological bodies and stuff like that. But if you listen to that interview, even David Grush will say that the explanation that he personally puts on it is that they do not come from this dimension. Okay, so very slowly but very surely the explanation is coming forth that alien visitors to this planet are not intergalactic, but they are interdimensional. And that is really important to link it in to my theory, which many other people hold, it's not just me, into my theory around who aliens are. So, if aliens and UFOs are interdimensional, that means that they are able to move from one dimension into our dimension, which also means they are able to have physical, in this dimension, materialization. They can materialize physically, so we can track them on the radars, we can see them, our pilots can see them and visualize them, so they can have a material existence, manifestation in this dimension, in the earth realm, and that they can then dispossess that material manifestation when they go into another dimension, because in another dimension they would have to have a different existence in order to be able to go from materializing in our dimension and non-materializing to move over into their own dimension. Okay, so really simply, when they materialize, they take on substance, a form, but when they disappear, all of that goes. So they materialize and dematerialize. Now, the Bible says that all non-physical entities are termed as spirit beings in the Bible. And spirit beings in the Bible can appear and disappear. They can take on physicality and disappear from that physicality, meaning they are no longer in the physical realm, which completely describes our interdimensional theory, because of so many manifestations and stories and examples that we see in the Bible that clearly explains what's going on even today. I really hope you enjoyed this session. I hope it's brought some understanding, and I hope you will like, share and subscribe, and look out for the next teaching. And so we'll see you next time. God bless.